think that I appreciate what people say about you seem young, and that's very sweet. However, one of the things, the fear I feel is I might not be this way. I might not be so young anymore. I might start to feel my energy diminish. I did feel my energy diminish. The most frightening thing about last year when I was having radiation and stuff was I had no energy. I couldn't move. I couldn't do anything. And it was so frightening to me to think, this might be it. This just might be the new normal. Maybe that happens to people, right? And that could happen to me. So then, thank God, I was like, I dodged the bullet, and I'm okay, and I got really energetic again. But there's no doubt about it, that there's a diminishing of energy. And so deciding how you want to spend your time and doing it fully. If it's going to be having a good time. Like, I regret even the time I felt guilty about wasting time. You know what I mean? Like, you shouldn't feel guilty about things. If you feel like watching some crappy TV thing, just watch it and enjoy it. Don't bug yourself about it, you know? There's something to be learned always also, no matter what you're doing. But I think that's the thing I'm working on now, is to not feel guilty and not to feel dissatisfied and not to feel regretful and to just really live fully. I've mentioned to a few people, a very dear friend from a long time ago named Beth died on the morning of my birthday, and I got the email about it from her husband, who I'm in touch with. And I remember lying in bed, having already worried a bit about turning 70 and already feeling in and out of terrible blue kind of funk over the last few months, just struggling with some things, and not feeling like I approve of feeling blue. I don't. But that morning when I got that email, I just thought, I'm already 9 years older than she was. And I have no right to complain about getting older. That is completely a sewer. And I just felt like, to you, Beth, I'm going to have a good time and enjoy everything and do things as graciously as I can, like I saw her do, and try to learn a lesson from some people who really live fully. So I still have questions about what I should attempt to accomplish at this point. I don't know if you take into account age or not. I really don't know yet. But I'm really happy to be alive, and I'm really grateful to have good friends and dear children, and just, this is great. This is really great. So thank you, everybody, for being here.
I think when Maya Angelou turned 80, Oprah asked her about aging, and she said to her, "It's great. If you can, you should try it."
Well, that's the thing. My father used to say, growing old is lousy, but consider the alternative. That was his joke. Now, my mind immediately jumps to, yeah, but Maya Angelou, she got the fucking Nobel Prize. Come on. She could sit back and say, oh, okay, I've accomplished a few things. Right?
She also got beaten the crap out of her and almost died.
Yeah, that's true. You're right. You're right.
But then the great Torah sage Woody Allen said, I don't mind dying, I just don't want to be there when it happens.
So, yeah, I mean, the death thing, I've always been kind of obsessed with death. Mm. I was already thinking about it I was 7 years old, and I would wake up in the night with really terrible fear. I was afraid of waking up in the grave. Mm. And I didn't have the kind of conversations with my parents that I was able, I think, to have with my own children. So I didn't tell anybody that I was afraid. And once when I was 7, 8 years old, I woke up in the middle of the night like having a panic attack about waking up in the grave. And I suddenly thought, I know if the panic and depression, I didn't have the name for it then, I could commit suicide. That was like a good thing. I realized that I think that I had some control. I don't know why. That cheered me up, or like it soothed me. Years later, I remember thinking that's messed up. If when you're 7 or 8, you think suicide is a relief. When I was in high school, I wrote all these essays about suicide. I was just always interested in it. And it seemed like a really important philosophical issue. And I read Camus, and I said, I'm not the only person who ever thought about this, you know. And so now, I'm older, and I think I am so glad that I'm still alive. And I think it would have to be, I don't want to think about it, but I wouldn't do that now. And I think there's there's a woman named Naomi Remens. You actually gave me the first book by her that I read. She talks about that life isn't ruled, life isn't ruled by science. It's the mystery. It's a mystery. I forget how she worded it. It's something like the mystery that no one can actually define of the will to live. The will to live is like such a powerful mystery. And so I feel like facing difficulty, which I do because that's my brain takes me to those places, or life does. And that's the thing, is that I feel like I always want to have the will to live if possible. And to be there if people need a little encouragement too. That's important. I don't know what to do about guilt. I'm still really working on that, if anyone has advice for me.
Dump it.
Guilt about
Don't
what?
feel guilty about it.
About having guilt?
About
Well,
it.
that's the thing.
Still
It's
working on
like,
it.
yeah,
Embrace it.
embrace the guilt.
No, what? But what? Guilt about what?
Just pretty much everything. Like, oh, I'm doing this,